Let's say you're a 19-year-old millionaire. You've spent your teenage years the best you could. You have a loving wife, lots of great friends, amazing memories, and overall, you basically already achieved all of your dreams. Sounds good, but this is not how real life looks like. If you are like me, you are already 20-something, feel a bit old, and basically feel like you've wasted a great part of your life. But what can I say? Actually, this is fine. It's actually pretty normal to be 20 and feel like you've wasted your life. And it's actually normal to feel old at 20 nowadays. Let's get to the point. Some people feel sad because they haven't made $1 million before hitting 20. I mean, there are so many successful, famous and rich teenagers. They achieved such things at such a young age, and therefore, if you haven't achieved the same stuff, you probably wasted your teens, right? I mean, it's easy to compare to them, but the answer is no. Just because one teenager gets his life settled before finishing puberty doesn't mean that thousands of others waste their life if they don't achieve the same stuff at the same age. That one teenager is just one in a few thousands of other teenagers, and it doesn't mean that he's better than them. Besides, your life is your life, and their life is their life. You go your own path. You go as you wish, and as God has planned for you. Maybe you're not supposed to get ahead of your peers early. Maybe you'll be the late bloomer. And still, things like money, fame and success are still vanity compared to some other, more important things. In my case, as a teenager, I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be rich, take drugs, have lots of friends, do stupid stuff and die young. And nowadays, I'm glad that I haven't succeeded in any of this. Perhaps if I was the person I wanted to be now back when I was 14, my life could actually be much worse. I haven't grown in wealth, friends, status and worldly things. But for that, I have grown in faith in God, maturity, wisdom and conscientiousness. And the person I wanted to become? Nowadays I see him as more or less a clown. But what with all the years that have passed? What with all my teenage stuff? What with all my memories? And what with all these crazy things? Many people see teens as the best age to be in. A time for partying, falling in love, building your personality, growing your $1 million empire and other such things. You do lots of dumb stuff, but still, it is all forgivable given how young you are. That's how some people see teens. But guess what? Your 20s are actually the same, but way better. If you feel like you've wasted your teens and skipped all those great moments, yeah, you won't turn back time. But life doesn't end when your teenage years do. In pop culture, teenage years are often seen as the best time. But the truth is, probably even more people think this way of 20s or even 30s. And here's a great mindset. Every age can actually be the best age of your life. And even when you get old, you get old only when you accept that you're old. And what about all the stuff you wish you've started earlier in life? Yeah, it's somewhat of a waste, but still, the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time to plant a tree is today. Maybe you've wasted lots of good memories and opportunities, but guess what? No matter how old you are, you're never done, unless you accept that you're done. Colonel Sanders, the founder of KFC, founded his great chicken empire at the age of 65. Moses of the Old Testament became a spiritual leader of Israel at the age of 80. Actually, most people in the Bible are late bloomers compared to today's standards. God doesn't choose people when they are young. God chooses people when it is the right time. And even in something like sports, people who start as kids have great advantage in many sports, but there are sports in which you can start very late and still be a pro. There are many fighters who started at 20s and became world-class professionals. And even if you start something now, you are still at somewhat of an advantage. You are older, more mature, and you probably will get to make less mistakes than as if you started years earlier. Plus, you're probably more disciplined, more resilient, and less likely to give up. To those who feel as if their life ended after their teens, peaking in high school is boring. Your 20s are basically teens, but you have even more of the good stuff. Plus, you are much more mature than a teenager. More good stuff, less dumb stuff. But wait, why do all anime portray teens as the best time? Because anime is anime. Simple. Adult life is boring for most Japanese people. It is basically mostly work, but it is way different for most other parts of the world. In anime you peak at 15 after only 3 months of training, and in real life you never really peak. You spend your entire life on improving, and you need years of practice to get even remotely good at something. And anime 15-year-olds aren't realistic. I like that metaphor. Being 15 in anime is like being 20 or 20-something in real life. I don't want to insult young lads watching this, but 15-year-olds in real life are still more or less kids. I mean, yeah, not complete kids, but still, far from what anime portrayed them to be. You get to that level much later in life. 20s are your time to beat the bad guys, save the world, and perhaps find love. And even if you're past your 20s, in real life, it is never too late to do such stuff. What is my case? I myself was like most teenagers, directionless. I was drinking and smoking underage, wasting time playing video games and overall not really doing much stuff for my future. Plus, for most of my teens, I was basically that shy guy no one wants to talk with. Only at the age from 17 to 19 I really started getting my life together. I started seriously working out at late 16, started taking cold showers somewhere between 16 and 17, started caring about my Christian faith, reading books, meditating and doing this YouTube at 18, stopped drinking, smoking and playing video games like a no-life also at 18, started actually talking with people at 19. I guess I am somewhat of a late bloomer myself. Now I am 21 and I feel younger than back when I was 19. And even though I still sometimes feel old, I know that most 30-year-olds would probably laugh at me hard after hearing this. I am just starting out. And if you're also just starting out, don't be shy. Join me. Go and slash that subscribe button into a million pieces. Likes or comments are also appreciated. Thanks. And there is no reason to feel bad about your past mistakes now. Because as it is believed, about inventing a light bulb, Thomas Edison said something like, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." And also, as Christian, I know that God has a plan for us, both for me and for you. He's always with us. Jesus himself started his ministry only after hitting 30. And really, thanks to the fact that I haven't achieved my teenage dreams, now I am on the right track. God saved me from the unrighteousness and vanity I was striving towards. We don't really know how God takes action, so take what I'm gonna say next with a grain of salt. I myself am not 100% certain if my understanding is correct. Some of the failures we go through in life might have been planned by God, to change our direction or to teach us something. We have our funny little plans, but only God's great plan is perfect. And even the little things that might not have been pre-planned, God knew that they're gonna happen and He allowed them to happen. And through them, He still gives us opportunities to do much more good and to grow. From every bad thing, there can be infinitely more good in the end. Of course, still, we're obligated to avoid evil as much as we can. But even when bad stuff happens, God can turn it into something infinitely more good. And when it comes to Gen Z feeling old, it is also tied to the overall lack of meaning and hope in Gen Z. This video explains it very well. It talks about how modern world strives towards destruction, but also about how to break free from it and still live a good life in such times. Thanks for your time. Growth is our duty. Bye.